doing it twice a day. You need to increase your activity. So you need to do all.
Because I know that Dr. Now would not be happy. And if he gives up on me, then I know that I will have let Lucy down.
Starting with a shocking revelation, Entreon Shannon's journey on the show was nothing short of a roller coaster ride, filled with ups and downs and failures. Entreon was dealing with some serious stuff. He had congestive heart failure and diabetes and was taking about 13 to 14 medications every day. Imagine having to remember all those pills every single day. But how did he end up like this?
I have 2 or 3 different doctors that said I'll be lucky to even see 40. The worst is already beginning to happen. It's definitely no way to live. I take about 13 to 14 different medications to make sure my heart does not fail. And that's the only thing that keeps me out of the hospital.
As we delve into Entreon's past, it's clear his relationship with food has deep roots. Since he was a kid, Entreon found comfort in food. He'd hang out with his grandmother, playing games, and eating a bunch. By the time he was 18, he had already weighed around 450 pounds. So, his grandmother was playing the role of an enabler.
We play games, but we eat. We do this, but we eat. And good food was always present. How many calories is that?
What you're supposed to eat.
You gonna put some honey on it?
3 more.
His background was tough too. Entreon grew up in a single-parent family, experienced the loss of his grandfather and father to heart issues, lost his job, and then got hit with his own heart failure diagnosis. When things got rough, Entreon would turn to food for some comfort. Let's see how these factors will play out in his quest for a healthier life.
For 7 years, working 10 to 14-hour days. At first, my size worked in my favor. Being big helped intimidate customers who came to steal things. And that's when I started to have health issues of my own. And I got diagnosed of heart failure. And then the cardiologist cut me off as her patient. And she said that there's nothing that we can do for you. I lost my job at the store and had a total mental breakdown. I ended up becoming suicidal.
And things got even tougher when he lost his job as a security guard because of his heart condition. Entreon's wife, Musa, was his main support. He wanted to start a family with her, but she was worried about his health and asked him to lose weight first. Now, what he will do to turn his life around.
When I met him, he was moving around. I saw that he was willing to change, and so I gave him a chance. But now he wants a family. I cannot give it to him unless he loses that weight so that we help each other.
In a critical turn of events, Entreon decided he would seek some help. So, Entreon decided to see Dr. Now, weighing in at 702 pounds. Dr. Now gave him a plan, a 1-200-calorie diet and some exercise, hoping to see him lose 80 pounds in 2 months. But sticking to the plan was harder than expected. Will he really commit to the program?
You said all this before, and so far it seems like you go in the other direction, okay? So to get you started, I'm going to give you a 1,200-calorie diet that is high protein, low carb. I'm going to walk you through it, and I want you to start that immediately.
Yes, sir.
And then I'm going to also give you some exercises, doing it twice a day. You need to increase your activity, so you need to do all these.
3 months later, Entreon had only lost 19 pounds. Instead of following the diet, he added protein shakes and peanut butter. When Dr. Now asked him about it, Entreon couldn't really explain why. He was non-serious during the whole conversation and was just laughing it off. But why was he not following the diet?
So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave it until we go back to the doctor so that he can explain to you, because it's not there. Like, it feels like maybe the food is the same. I told him, if you go through the book and look at the food, different kinds, just because you don't like it, but it's good for you, just take it. Because if you're full, you're not gonna think about it. That's what I told him. So we're waiting to come back so that you tell him that the shakes is a no-no, peanut is a no-no.
So not only he doesn't listen to me, he doesn't listen to you either.
Despite Dr. Now's warning, Antrion's subsequent actions were disheartening to say the least. Frustrated but not defeated, Dr. Now set another 80-pound challenge, hinting at the grim reality that Antrion might not make it another 4 months if things didn't change. But change, it seemed, was a tough ask. At his next checkup, Antrion had actually gained 6 pounds. Still joking, still shrugging it off. Let's see if he can ever overcome his obstacles.
This is my aunt. It's actually my mom's friend, but I call her Aunt Pat.
Okay.
Little.
So what happened to your wife? She gave up on you?
No, she didn't give up. I mean, she had payments and stuff, and so they're trying to still work on her green card and stuff, so.
All right, well, it is a good thing she's not losing 80 pounds in 2 months. You gained 6 pounds. Dad?
I plead the Fifth Amendment. I don't know. I'm joking. No, I don't know how to explain it.
Well,
Seeing his non-seriousness, Dr. Now suggested seeing a psychotherapist, hoping to understand Antrion's struggles. The psychotherapist advised him to list all his grievances as if he were composing a sermon. And can you believe it? He turned up with a coffee and a cinnamon roll, ready to sit down and draft that sermon. How ironic.
Well, I want you to write a sermon about this. Well, I feel like you have 2 kinds of weight to lose.
Yeah.
And 700 pounds of emotional weight, too.
But it seems like the emotional weight is heavier than the physical,
Yeah.
you know?
So, Antrion, I'm going to bring your wife in. Is that okay?
Yeah.
We'll talk about the homework, okay?
Okay.
Great. Hi, are you Musa?
Yes.
Hi, Musa, come on in.
Alrighty.
You can have a seat right over there.
Oh, thank you.
In the end, the outcome of Antrion Shannon's story was both shocking and disheartening. Antrion's weight had climbed to 704 pounds by the end of his episode. Gaining 15 pounds when he was supposed to be losing them was a gut punch to viewers, and undoubtedly to Antrion himself. Antrion's journey is one of the most insanely failed cases in my 600 LB life history.
Okay, we're gonna go to room 5.
It feels like no matter what I do, it's not gonna be good enough. I can't help but feel that because I know that Dr. Nell would not be happy. And if he gives up on me, then I know that I will have let Musa down.
Lacy was dealing with some hefty health battles. Think diabetes, sky-high cholesterol, and blood pressure through the roof. Plus, her bones were literally crying out from the weight they had to bear. She even said she felt like a T-Rex taking these big, mighty steps, but at a snail's pace. You won't believe the emotions and struggles Lacy endures as her story unfolds.
There's no part of my body that doesn't hurt. Having crackling in my bones, heat rash in places that never goes away no matter how clean I am. I have stabbing pain in my feet and really dull, crushing pain in my lower back. My right knee is the worst pain I've ever had in my life. I struggle with diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and it's all because of my weight. My body is crushing itself.
After learning about the physical battles, let's talk about her childhood. Growing up, Lacy's life was anything but easy. Her dad struggled with anger, and her mom, well, let's just say she didn't exactly make Lacy feel wanted. She was a surprise baby, born despite her mother's use of an IUD, leading to frequent reminders that she was an unplanned addition to the family. Yeah, it's not fun.
He was our surprise baby. I had IUD, but it got out of place. When I was writing Christmas cards, I'd get really emotional. Dad told me, oh my gosh, I think I'm pregnant. Yeah.
When I was very young, she told me that I was an IUD baby in an accident. I feel like a disaster. So my self-esteem was disgustingly low as a child. Therefore, I ate because it's what brought me comfort. Started gaining weight from the very beginning. By the time I was 6 or 7, I was around.
But the traumas didn't stop there. Imagine being in 3rd grade and going through something as awful as rape. only to have your own mom not believe you. That's when food turned into more than just meals for Lacy. It became her comfort, her escape. It's a testament to the complex ways trauma can manifest, setting the stage for her battles to come.
The summer before 3rd grade, I began hanging out with a new kid on the block. And we were playing one day, and he wanted me to go to his house. And when I went over, his older brother lived in the basement, and I was dragged to the basement by my friend for a horrific experience. I didn't know what to do. I didn't think anyone would believe me, so I never told anyone about this till I was in college. So technically he got away with it. So after that, my weight spiraled out of control.
Her weight became a formidable obstacle in her life. When we first met Lacy on the show, she was carrying around 593 pounds and had Ricky by her side. Ricky seemed like the real deal, always there to lend a hand, whether it was whipping up a meal or helping her keep clean. But was he more of a helper or an enabler?
Thankfully, I have Ricky now, who's not like those other guys, because he wants the best for me. So we're together now, and I'm thankful to have him. Not just to have somebody to help me.
How you doing? I'm doing good. I'm just chatting with my sister. The girls say hi.
Determined to change her life, Lacy met Dr. Now. After examination, Dr. Now gave Lacy a big goal, to lose 50 pounds in a month. She started off strong, but then life's curveballs started coming in hot. She began missing her appointments and fell back into those old, comfy eating habits. Will she ever break free from years of emotional eating?
If I want to read every night, that will break down at 1,200 calories a day, low-carb, high-protein diet that you need to follow completely.
Okay.
And understand to correct your eating habit and what you can do at home. And I want to lose twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening. So in 2 months, you need to lose 50 pounds. That won't be hard to do at all.
Also, things got so tough between Lacy and Ricky that she ended up calling the cops on him and his sister Sharon because she didn't feel safe around them. It all happened on the road as they were making their way back to Houston, and Lacy was abandoned on the roadside. That's a major setback.
Police department and said we were all trying to hurt her, or in my case, she tried to blame me for abusing her.
Get whatever the she needs off my is gone. You want your it will be at the U-Haul place. Woman, you don't even know what you just did.
I'm not abuse a person. I am the realest, nicest, greatest person alive. I will go above and beyond for my woman.
But what about her weight loss program? As for sticking to her diet, well, that plan didn't quite stick. She was supposed to be on this strict diet to lose weight, but the pounds just weren't shedding. Dr. Now even gave her another shot at meeting her weight loss goals, but it just wasn't in the cards for Lacy. Eventually, he had to make the tough call to remove her from the program because she just couldn't commit to the change.
If you're living down here, because we're not moving ahead with you until you do that. So, you have the guide and you have to use that. And if you don't follow that, there's nothing we can do to change that, okay?
Yes.
So stick.
At 34, Crystal was battling a mix of health issues like diabetes, hypertension, and polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS, which not only affected her health, but also brought unexpected challenges like hair growth in unusual places, including her face. To add to her struggles, parts of her stomach were nerve damaged, making her situation even more complex. So, will Crystal find a way to turn her life around?
My husband Freeland is the one I rely on to help me get up and through my day. But I hate making him do that because I know it's hard for him.
We're right behind you.
But my body is in such bad shape now, and I have all these medical conditions making everything worse for me. First it started with things like joint pain, and it's been hard to breathe when I do too much. But now I have all these other issues.
You're gonna give me a shot.
As we've seen, Crystal's relationship with her body was complicated from the start. From a young age, Crystal found comfort in food. It wasn't just about eating, but about finding a momentary escape from reality. Her journey into binge eating began at 5, around the same time she faced a horrifying trauma at the hands of a family friend, a sexual abuse that continued until she was 13. No one should ever go through this trauma.
5, that my weight gain started. Christmas Eve, right before I turned 5 years old. We went and stayed with some family for the holidays. And that's when one of them molested me for the first time. After that, my life was never the same. But that was just... I didn't say anything to anybody for a long time. And so every time my mom sent us to their house, it happened to me again.
Following Crystal's escape into food for comfort, this dark period of her life was a secret she kept buried, even as she endured more physical trauma from her mother's abusive partner, who targeted Crystal and her sisters. By 10, Crystal's weight had soared to over 250 pounds, a clear sign of how deeply food had become her refuge. But will she ever escape from this addiction?
Because it wasn't safe anywhere. So I just tried to escape, and food made me happy. And when I needed that, I ate. So that's when I really started gaining. And by the time I turned 7, I weighed about 150 to 200 pounds. So I was putting on weight quickly, and that didn't really change. By the time it's already up to over 250. But I never really thought it was a big deal until I turned around 11 or 12 years old.
While taking on new responsibilities, Crystal's health was a ticking time bomb, and she knew she needed some serious help. When Crystal first met Dr. Now, her weight was at a staggering 618 pounds. Dr. Now was taken aback by her lifestyle, particularly her sleeping habits, 15 to 16 hours a day, and her choice of breakfast, ramen noodles and cheeseburgers. What will Dr. Now recommend for Crystal?
Yeah.
Then after that, what do you do?
Sometimes I'll take a nap or go sit in the front room and watch a movie.
You just woke up, you take a nap?
Yeah.
Okay. And what time you go to bed?
I'm usually in bed by 7:30.
So you sleep from 7:30 till 11 o'clock next day? How many hours is that?
Kenay.
You know, the fact that you sleep from 7 o'clock at night till 11 o'clock next day is very abnormal, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you should get 8 hours sleep.
Okay.
Okay, and that's not healthy.
Dr. Now recommended her to cut down her sleep to 8 hours and pushed for a consultation with Dr. Paradise, a psychotherapist. Dr. Paradise suggested journaling as a way for Crystal to process her traumas, telling her, "You have kept so much inside. You probably have books inside of you of things that have never been said. Will this lead to a lasting and positive change?"
It's going to involve journaling. And I want you to use that journal as a way to start being a little vulnerable in your writing.
Okay.
Because you were quiet for so long. You kept so much inside. You get said. So start writing it now.
Okay.
Get it out.
Okay.
Crystal, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you.
Here, have a good night.
Bye.
Crystal's efforts to change her life seem to be paying off, at least initially. At her second checkup, Crystal weighed in at 591 pounds. Dr. Now sets a new goal for her: lose 80 pounds in the next 2 months. Crystal worked hard, and by her next visit, she amazed everyone by getting down to 526 pounds, which meant she was cleared for surgery. But can Crystal maintain this momentum?
Around easier, and I can walk for longer before I get tired. So I'm definitely noticing a difference in what I can do and all that.
That's good. I'm glad to see all your progress. You didn't make it to an 80-pound goal, but you're losing more per month this time. And in total, you're getting close to losing 100 pounds. So you've been sticking with it for a few months. So last surgery. That sound good?
That's amazing.
Okay. So before we do that, you need to move down here to Houston. Are you ready to do that?
Just when it seemed Crystal was on the path to recovery, life had other plans. Things took a turn when she missed her appointments for 7 months. When she finally came back, her weight had gone up again to 579 pounds. Because of the weight she put back on, Crystal couldn't have the weight loss surgery. This turn of events makes her story one of the most unexpected and failed cases on the show.
Went back to coping with food again. When I talked to you, I warned you that no matter how hard it gets, you need to stay on track, or we won't move ahead with your weight loss surgery.
I know it's just been do this on my own.
I understand that, but you're still gaining, so that's the issue.
So I'm still able to get weight loss surgery?
Not while you're gaining, I do that. But this is what we can do. You have shown me you can do this one.
Kenay couldn't stand up by herself for more than a quick 45-second countdown. Yep, you heard that right. Even a simple trip to the bathroom turned into a team effort. Her nieces, Alika and Deja, were the MVPs of shower time, while her nephew played the crucial role of walking assistant. You won't believe how these everyday hurdles push her towards an unimaginable path.
Come on, babe. I'm ready to get washed up. Alicia is 16. If I'm gonna take a good shower, Alicia helps. Or if Deja's here, she helps. Deja is 19. And she's in college, so she's in and out of the house here.
Now, let's rewind a bit. By 10, Kenay weighed over 150 pounds, and by 13, she was 230 to 240 pounds. But despite her weight, she was living a normal, happy life in high school. She was dating someone and went to prom in high school at 17. So, for her weight didn't seem to be a problem, so she kept eating more and more. That's some next-level ignorance.
But I don't feel like I missed out on anything during that time because of my size. So I was happy in high school. I dated. I went to prom. So I didn't see a reason to change how I ate. So I kept eating more and gaining weight. And I graduated from high school at 17. I was well over 350 pounds. But I was still able to manage pretty well at that time.
After high school, Kenay landed a job and left home. But guess what? With newfound independence came an escalation in her fast food adventures and binge eating sessions. Before she knew it, 400 pounds was the new normal. But did she sweat it? Nope. Movement wasn't a problem, so in her eyes, everything was peachy. But the plot thickens as Kenay's weight continues to climb.
I didn't buy groceries. I ate out. I was making my own money. You just drive through. So my eating habits changed for the worse. And it was at that time my weight had gotten up to around 400 pounds. But I didn't feel bad because I could still move around pretty good. I was still moving and working and, walking around and not hurting. It just didn't really bother me. So I kept on doing whatever I wanted with food and eating.
But Kenay had dreams like starting a bigger family. There was just one big hurdle. Her weight was causing infertility and other health issues. Then life hit hard. She lost her mom and a tornado destroyed her house. These tough times made her turn to food even more. Wait until you hear how these adversities push her towards a pivotal decision.
Infertility can put a strain on the relationship. I just always figured that once I found someone that I wanted to settle down with, I'd get pregnant, we'd have kids, we'd go on with life. But I wasn't getting pregnant. I was diagnosed with PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it did attribute to weight gain, and that devastated me.
Then, at 41, Kenay decided it was time for a change and sought out the legendary Dr. Now. Starting weight? A whopping 614 pounds. Dr. Now prescribed a strict 1-200-calorie diet and some daily exercise, setting a bold goal of shedding 75 pounds in 2 months. But it was tough, especially since Kenay was the one in charge of food at home. So how will she cope with this problem?
Family would tell you you're eating too much, don't eat that much, or...
Will they tell me that?
Yeah.
No.
Nobody tell you that?
No.
Okay.
No one's gonna step on my toes.
Well, the dynamic seems to be that you get everyone to enable you, and you use them as a crutch, and it sounds like that is affecting their health too.
At her second visit, her weight was 592 pounds. So she only lost 22 pounds in 2 months instead of her target of losing at least 75 pounds. When Dr. Now asked her about it, she got defensive, saying, "You're not a magician, and you're not a god. You're just a doctor. Talk about tension."
With the strict eating 3 times a day, around 400 calories per meal. There'll be no carb on your diet, no potato chips, no snacking. Okay.
But despite the rocky start, she agreed to stick to the 1-200-calorie diet. Dr. Now also sent her to a psychotherapist, Dr. Paradise, who suggested writing a letter to her late mom. It was a way for Kenay to process everything that happened since her mom's passing. Let's see if this will positively help her.
But ultimately, this is all up to Kenay. No matter what any of her family does, she has to make the choice to start to change now and do what she needs to get on the right track before her situation gets any worse.
However, Kenay's emotional and physical transformation journey reached a critical milestone. Kenay weighed 543 pounds by her third appointment and was given a new goal. However, dreams of surgery were put on hold due to health concerns signaled by high white blood cell counts. So, the question remained, will her dreams of a new beginning come to fruition?